Alright guys, a bunch of you had asked me to do a video showing how I put my Fender Eliminator kit on my KLR 650. This is a second generation, so what works on that will work on, I'm assuming, any second gen. I can't speak for first gens, but yeah, let's get to it. The first thing you're going to need, obviously, is your kit itself. Mine's already installed, so I am not going to show you that in the packaging because I don't have another one. But you will need Allen keys, wire stripper, and crimper. Mine's the same thing, all in one handy dandy little tool, and it's automatic. A Phillips screwdriver. Gonna need a socket set. Assorted electrical connectors. We might be using a lot of butt connectors. But you might need a voltmeter, but I'm going to eliminate the absolute necessity of it. But I'll throw it in the pile anyway. Music is important. A couple of these things, which I'll explain later. And last but not least, something to sit on. Now we get to the optional equipment, but highly recommended. Mountain Dew. Baja Blast, if you can get it. Doritos. Cool Ranch, or whatever your preference is. Now, I'll kind of show you what I did, but I obviously can't show you every last little thing because I already removed everything and put it on, but I'll kind of guide you through a few of the things. Alright, as you may know, the first thing you got to do is take off your rear cowls. So there is here and there. Those are both 8mm bolts, so got our 8mm driver, and we'll just sort of grab this one here. Just like that. Then you got your two 10mm bolts on either side of the seat, so just undo those here. And then once you're done with that, your seat should just kind of pop off. And whoa, what the heck? How did I get there? Stupid people. Alright, now you can get your wiring, which is like right here. Yeah, so normally there's, stuff here, all in here. You got your toolbox. So you're going to take all that off. Speed clips on these. Yeah, all that stuff comes out. You're going to have to unplug some stuff, but that's fine. You are going to have to take the rack off, and that's going to require you to take these off, which are 6mm hex key bolts, and these up here, which you'll need later, which are, I believe, 5mm hex key bolts. There's two long studs sticking out of the back of the light, but yeah, you can kind of see those two nuts, one right on top of the other, and that bent bracket. We'll get to that bent bracket in a second, but yeah, that you're gonna need to shave those posts down, but you can do that after you've already mounted it to the bracket. It should have a if it's like mine at least, it should have a washer and one nut. I just added some extra nuts because I had them. You're gonna actually reuse some of the hardware down here. If I can get a good angle. Yep, those guys right there, also on the bracket. Those get reused from some part of the bike that I can't remember what it is, and go into the brackets on the bottom of the bar that hold the rack on. Here's kind of a back view of those brackets. As you can see, right, light having difficulties right here is one side. As you see, the bar kind of comes around. You want to mount it on the bottom ones. You don't want it too close to the rack, otherwise the cops will be all like, I can't see your light and your turn signals. Here's a little side note. When you take things off, like fenders, you will need to, right here, shadows, I'm sorry, right here where I have these nuts, there was a fender there, obviously, that you eliminated with your Fender Eliminator kit. So you're going to want to put some kind of spacer. I just had nuts that were bigger than the bolts, so it could just slide through and not worry about binding the threads that were incorrect. Yeah, here's a view from the other side. So you pretty much put the bracket on, which I'll show you how to make in a second, and then you put the washer on, and then the two nuts, and then you just take a hacksaw or whatever you use to cut metal and hack it off right there. because otherwise it'll actually be too deep and it will hit that bar and not work for you. And no one likes things that don't work. So yeah, just do what I said. Okay, to make those brackets, I just picked up these. They're from the hardware store. I got them from Menards, but I'm sure you can get them at like any hardware store, Ace or Home Depot or anything. I don't actually know what they're for, but they worked really well. In case you can't figure out what size this is because you can't tell what kind of fingers I have, this is 5th generation iPod. So yeah, it's about that big. Yeah, you can use that as size comparison, I guess. What I did is I just went right in the middle and I bent it at 90 degrees, which will give you a nice bracket. And when you put it on, make sure that as it's sticking out like this, if like my finger is the bar, this finger is the bar that it goes on the bottom of, that the bend is up towards the rack of the bike and not pointed down. I suppose you could aim it down, but it's just pushing it further down towards the wheel, and there's no reason for that. There's no need for it. It's plenty visible if you bend it up. And now we have time for the important stuff before we get to the electrical. Nope. Cheers. Okay. Now we're ready. Okay, now for the oh so fun electrical part that I will hopefully make super easy for you. First of all, you will need to cut off all your connectors. That's very important. You need to be at least proficient at electrical work. It might not look like I am yet, but I am planning on adding things. So I didn't want it super permanent, which is why I have so many butt connectors. Alright, so quick wiring. All of this is from your light. Your black wire is your ground for all of your functions. The green wire is your tail light and license plate light. Red wire is going to be your brake light. Yellow wire is going to be your right hand turn signal, and white wire is going to be your left hand turn signal. Now I have a 2012 KLR 650, so I don't know if this is going to be the same on all models, but here goes. The green is going to be your left blinker. The white is going to be your right hand blinker. All of the wires that are black with a yellow stripe on them are going to be grounds and unneeded, so you can seal those off. Blue is going to be your tail light, or I'm sorry, blue is going to be your brake light, and red is going to be your tail light and now your license plate light as well.